Well, I guess I'm going to have to stack that firewood. It's been piled up there for about 2 months, which is okay. It's allowed it to dry, and I made some room in the shed, and it's a nice day. So hopefully we'll get it done. I'm having a hard time getting motivated though. All right, well there's our victim. We're looking at about 2 cords, oak and madrone, and was delivered in probably April, and so it's been piled like that. And like I said, it's seasoning there, so taking up space, but we are going to move that across the driveway, and we are going to stack it so it hopefully doesn't ever fall. And here is our woodshed, and it holds about 4 cords, and we usually burn about 6 in a year because that's our central heating is firewood, so quite laborious, but now's a good time to start stacking before winter. Well, the ends of the pile I like to crisscross, and some people stack them up level there, crisscrossed. I generally will angle mine in a little bit if I can. It's kind of like a puzzle, but we want to make sure things are leaning back towards the other pile and in towards itself, so that if it gets bumped or moved or something shrinks or something happens, earthquake, which has happened, we wouldn't want our whole cache there, our whole pile to come crumbling down. And so that's been pretty much my method. Well, I've got my first wheelbarrow load, and I wanted to point out a couple key things as far as starting. So, okay, when I start grabbing pieces, I'm looking for pieces of similar size and ones that will lay flat as far as dealing with the ends. So I've kind of grabbed these 2. I'm thinking they'll set, they got a flat side and they're roughly the same thickness, and so that's where I'll start on the ends, and then I'll fill the middle in, and then I'll keep going up. Sometimes the round ones are a little problematic in that they want to roll, so you kind of have to lock those ones in, you might notice, and that secures things. Okay, there's my first course. Kind of hard to see, I got these ferns growing all over the place, but I'm trying to keep things laying flat. I got a round one in there, and it's kind of in a crook there, kind of in a V to keep it from rolling. My far right there, I've got 2 pieces of similar size. They're laying pretty flat. The ends needs to be stable. Try to get a good view of that. Ends need to be stable so that doesn't bulge out and push over. Okay, I got my second 2 pieces crisscrossed on the end there, and again looking for something of similar thickness and something that will lay flat and stable. If they do have to lean, I tend to want to see them lean again towards the middle and maybe towards the pile behind it, the stack behind it. But I need to quit talking and just get going, because the more talking, the slower this is going to be. One of the things about stacking wood is you really got to work quick. Otherwise, it just goes on all day. All right, here's one for you. Got 2 odd-shaped pieces of wood. So we got this short piece that's actually split big, and so the grain's running the other way. And then we've got one with a huge knot. But the good thing is at the top of the second one, it's level, and so that's generally good practice. After we stack things around, it should be secure. Okay, we got our 3rd row on the end here, and this is the right end, and you can see it's pretty well flat, stable, angling in a little bit, which I had mentioned to kind of push against itself. And we're just going to keep on keeping on. All right, well, I got the left side shaping up, and again you can see the ends are crisscrossed, angling in a little bit. Some people just have them no angle, just try to keep everything level on the ends, but I I tend to lean things to the middle. And on this case, 1, 2, 3, the fourth layer up, you can see I actually used 2 pieces just to try to maintain that level on the end. And rather than look for pieces, or I just try to make it go quick, and so sometimes I do this, gang them up as long as they're stacked where they won't move. Should be okay. And then about my 5th load in, there's my right side, you can see, and so we're well on our way. Okay, we're about 3 or 4 feet up. It's kind of hard to see the depth here. And we're probably 10 loads in. I usually don't count the loads in, but the loads out. So when I see the pile getting small, I'm like, okay, 2 more loads. But I got a ways to go before I start counting loads out. Progress. Okay, we are getting there. I'm going to do another load, maybe 2, but I generally like to stop this outside layer a little bit short of the height on the previous layer, so the one behind it. And so that's why I say definitely a load, maybe 2. Okay, we're going to cut this row off, and we're about 1 shy of the previous row behind it. And I generally do that on the outside. Seems to be stronger, less leanage. And but yeah, we're looking at about 1/3 of a cord, and we got a bit more to go, but looks pretty good. Okay, now we're on the back side of the wood shed, and I'm gonna fill this out. I think I have enough room to put the rest away, and I'm just gonna try to go as fast as I can. I'm getting a little hungry. I think it might be lunchtime, but you know, keeping in mind a cord is 4 feet wide, 4 feet tall, and 8 feet long, and so I mentioned we got about 1/3 of a cord already stacked, and we've got at least 1.5 cords, 1.25 still to go. So we're cutting into the afternoon here, but again, I'm going to try to work it quick. All right, that's our firewood segment, and I want you to know that we use firewood. We maybe 7-8 cords a year for just our heat, and it can also be useful for cooking food if you don't have electricity and things like that. But very good stuff, and it's better than gold, some would say. Gold you really can't burn and it disappears, but firewood you burn and it turns into ash, and so maybe more valuable than gold in some cases. So yeah, I'm going to continue on and see if I can't get the rest of this put away within the day. Got to get the right frame of mind and just get going. Thanks for joining me today. Well, sometimes you find pieces of wood and they turn into projects. When you're stacking firewood, you just see that special piece and think, boy, I could make, well, like in this case, I found this piece of white oak, came out of Reading, had pretty straight grain, so I split it. And I thought, well, heck, I could make a spatula out of that. And lo and behold, a few hours into it, some sanding, and we've got an actual utensil there that we use quite a bit. You can see it's worn on the end. But that's one example. Well, here's another example, potential project. It's a knot, sliced off nicely. I took some time to kind of shape the back. This was a little rotten, and I think there were some bugs in there, so I wanted to get that out of there, but I Also just could be a nice surface for carving into. And so again, a lot of times you'll find odd pieces of wood, sometimes burl, and make a project out of it, which is always rewarding. Potential project. Look at that, nice redwood root. All right, here is a neat little piece of firewood, maple stool, created out of the firewood pile. Okay, we have another piece of firewood here. It's plum. It is a maple base, but a plum top. And again, salvaged from the wood pile. And so you can see stacking firewood comes with many advantages. Hand picking your projects from unique pieces of wood, as well as keeping your house warm. And as I mentioned too, sometimes the electricity goes out, so actually being able to cook food and heat water and make coffee. So hope you enjoyed our segment.
Okay, you crazies. All right, that's pretty good.
Okay. You should probably watch it before I post it.